All right, babies. One more. The beauty of friends is not in the pretending it never happened, but in the realizing that the dynamic that caused it won't work anymore. As in, the way we interact should adapt more uniquely to the current stage of the relationship, or it'll become stale. I know sometimes, I mean, like it did come after like the video. It really did come after the video where I discussed how I had a relationship that failed. And so the beauty of friends is not in the pretending it never happened, but in realizing that the dynamic that caused it won't work anymore. What I mean by dynamic that caused it, like when you first start interacting with people, you create a certain dynamic. And in a way, we project a certain image of them, and we continue with that dynamic until that image changes. And sometimes we kind of like get over the full relationship, or we adjust the dynamic to fit the new relationship, depending on how much we trust them or who we are, and all the good stuff. So the way we interact should adapt more uniquely to the current stage of the relationship, or it will become stale. Talking about stale relationships, I have a lot of friends from back in the day where our entire relationship is just remembering the good times. That's not a friendship. I don't care what anyone says. It's not a friendship. Really, there's a lot more to actually like being somebody's friend, or at least trusting that they're your friends. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to kind of like just having a relationship and just knowing each other, or just being able to talk freely with each other. There's a lot more. It really is not about the favors or something like this. There's kind of like this, I don't know, like I mentioned here, it's just the way we interact should adapt more uniquely to the current stage of the relationship. And the relationship changes based on us because you're a certain kind of way when it started, and they were a certain kind of way when it started. And basically, as you move forward in life, because like let's face it, you're not going to be moving in parallel. And so I don't know if some strain is placed on the relationship, or okay, it's not strain should not be on the relationship. Strain should be on the dynamic because now I'm seeing things differently. Kind of like understand how you're seeing things, or just kind of like try to establish how the new dynamic might look like, or at the very least how the old dynamic will fit or not fit. You know, these kinds of like approaches that allow us to explore more how we actually like would want the relationship to proceed, continue, and beautiful stuff about like people actually like bonding. Fun. So, anyways, the beauty of friends is not in pretending it never happened. Pretending it never happened means something went wrong and we're choosing to avoid it. But just realizing that the dynamic won't work anymore. And it doesn't mean the friendship is gone because the relationship is there. It's just the way we handle the relationship is not really the same. And that is something I think. Can I talk about it? I don't know. Like, I really am feeling not like there's a lot I can say, but I feel it just repeats itself. Like, why would I actually write this voice note, this video notes? The beauty of friends is not in pretending it never happened, but in realizing that the dynamic that caused it won't work anymore. And the thing at the bottom is the way we interact should adapt more uniquely to the current stage. Why would I say something like this? Maybe that'll be more interesting of a video instead of me trying to explain something that I don't really have friends, man. I don't have friends. I have a few people that I consider family, but they're not close to me. I have family that I don't consider really friends. I have relatives that I grew up with that we don't really talk. Just everything, man. I think being alone romanticizes things, maybe. Basically, that's how I do it. I actually have a friend. I hung out with him yesterday. It's super cool dude, man. And yeah, I actually have a friend. One friend, maybe three if I kind of like squeeze them. But I spend so much time alone that it kind of like creates this distance between me and the world. I don't really think this is me romanticizing like friendships. I think that's the truth behind them. But a lot of people never kind of like look into these details. It's funny because like the people who know the value of money are more the people that don't have it, and the people that basically know the value of basically flavor or food are the people that don't really like eat that well. The people that value education are the people that never really got the right. Like, isn't that the way of the world? Yeah. To understand truly the value of something, it just comes with the lack of it, with its lacking. And maybe that's just me romanticizing my aloneness. So friendship for me kind of like becomes more of a process of consistently kind of like building this thing with another person and slowly basically just exploring the kind of person I am through them. Because it clearly states it here is that pretending that something never happened, kind of means we're letting go of it. And doesn't that always also point at that's not a direction I want to go in kind of thing. In specific, I wrote at the back, it's just like adapting more uniquely to the current stage of the relationship, or it'll become stale. Because pretending something didn't happen never leaves you. Because you're always kind of like, you don't want to bring it back up, so you're stuck at a certain place where it never existed, or at the very least, it doesn't show up, or it never showed up within that stage. And then the relationship stops becoming like an evolution of sorts. There's no point in thinking about these things, is there? Because ultimately, there's two sides to a coin, right? Right now, I am both sides. I generally, when I'm having these videos, I kind of like go on both sides and kind of like interact with myself and ask myself the questions. But when it comes to other people, you truly want a genuine response. Genuine is kind of like the key, because pretending it never happens really just kills it. But does that really mean like it was never a friendship to begin with? Or does that mean it kind of like reached its limits? And it's only limited by what we are capable of, like kind of like being a part of, right? We are the limitations of anything. And if we don't really take responsibility, so how am I taking responsibility now about it? How am I looking at my lack of friends as my responsibility? In all honesty, man, I'm not trying to make friends right now. Specifically because like these kinds of things, I don't. It's not about them happening naturally, but they consume time slash energy, and in a way, I think I'm way too alert for something like this. And most of what I want to do is specifically just Huh, funny. I guess tomorrow I'm not staying in Beirut because I want to draw something out. Oh, I see the day when I'm actually sitting around people and having a conversation, or maybe just listening to them and completely enjoying it. I think every one of these videos is leading to those kinds of things. It's because I open something in me and kind of like I allow myself, I guess, the realization of this kind of stuff, which allows for new shit to kind of like build on top of it, or at the very least for me to kind of like notice something different. I think what's more fun in this world is kind of like truly being able to enjoy the good, the bad, and even the ugly. Clint Eastwood. But every single one of them is fun in its own way. And maybe in this note, I kind of like realized that when shit became fun in that way, a lot of people are not really into it. And as for me, I'm like, right now we could discover more about ourselves, and a lot of people are like, no. Well, it's probably my fault as well, right? I probably do something or say something as well that kind of like reflects on me being hesitant. Only one way to figure it out, man. More videos! Woohoo! But it's a video. Thank you guys.